What's up guys, Perry here, and my entire audio file got corrupted when I was recording the original voiceover for this, so we're gonna have to do it all over again. In today's unit review, we're gonna be seeing Ice Dragon Queen. She is a newly added mythical unit to the standard banner, and the reception from the community from her has been overall extremely positive. She's a hybrid unit, she does good slow, decent damage, decent range, decent SPA. And if you don't know how unit review works, we're going to be taking her into most content in the game. That's going to be including challenges, Tower of Eternity, raids, story mode, and infinite mode. The only thing that we're going to hold off on is Hall of Mirrors, because it's a relatively new game mode, multiplayer focus, so you're going to have to play with other people anyway. And from the ratings that we give her, you're going to see if she's good or not in that game mode anyway. So with all that being said, let's get right into the showcases. Up first, we're going to be seeing how she does in challenge mode, and as you can see, she's a little bit expensive, so it took me a little while to place her down. But yeah, she's doing a solid circle AoE off placement, and she's attacking at a relatively decent pace. She's a 3 placement unit. As soon as I get enough money for the third one, we'll place her. But yeah, her placement cap is 3, and I don't know if you guys saw that right there, but her slowing ability is a little bit different than the one that we're used to. When she hits an enemy, she doesn't slow them. She just straight up freezes them. She stuns them. And that's why in this update they added that new feature where, you know, enemies can't be stun locked forever. They go on a little 7 or 6 second immunity before they can be stunned again. But yeah, her freeze is really unique. One of the first of its kind that we've seen in this game. And look at that. The enemy was just sitting there and taking it. Pause. He just let himself take all those attacks. He was completely frozen. So for challenges, we're going to be giving her a very solid 7 out of 10. Now we're going to be seeing how she does in Tower of Eternity, and personally I think this is the game mode where she's weakest in. As you can see, like I stated before, she's a pretty expensive unit, so you know, placing her early game might not be something that you can do. We're already on round 6, and that was when I was able to place her. So you know, she has really good AoE. Off her first attack alone, she was able to hit both of the tracks. But the fact that she's single attack off placement, even though she has a slowing ability that's kinda hurts her for Tower of Eternity, she's having a little bit of trouble dealing with all those shields and all those blue health bars. Now, obviously we can place more of her. This will circumvent the issue somewhat. But frankly, there are just units that do it cheaper and do it better than she does for Tower of Eternity, so we're going to be giving her a 6 out of 10. Let's go to the next one. Now we're going to be seeing how she does in story mode. And right now we're on one of the harder maps in this game. Not the hardest map, but I think second hardest map in the game. As you can see, we have flying enemies and pretty tanky enemies, only off round 8. And she is not struggling with this at all. Her AoE is doing her justice. She's freezing all the enemies to stall out longer so she can attack again. She's hybrid, so she's hitting all of the units easily. Overall, she's a pretty solid pick for story mode. Even though she's a little expensive, she's still very solid. I'm going to be giving her a 7 out of 10 for story. Let's move on to the next one. Now we're going to be seeing how she does in infinite mode. So we're just going to place 3 of her down real quick, and as you can see, she's doing 859 off placement, 5.4 second SPA with decent range at 20.3. And as you can see right here, her slowing ability is just completely stopping the units in their tracks. Pink Demon Mage, she slows them. Like you can see a little comparison from the traditional slow versus the new slow that we're getting. Pink Demon Mage will slow them down, but Ice Dragon Queen will just completely freeze them. So after 2 upgrades, she unlocks this skill called Ice Shards, kind of reminiscent of Ice Forge from Deepwoken. She just summons little icicle shuriken looking things and throws them at the enemy. It's a single hit attack. Let's upgrade her 2 more times. She's going to be unlocking an ability called Ice Rain, where she summons a bunch of ice weapons from the sky and hurls them at the enemies. This attack is a multi-hit, as you can see right there. Pretty decent attack, decent damage. Up next, we have an ability called Ice Punch, and you know, 6.3 second SPA. She's going to be hitting in a big fat line and freezing anything that she touches, but it's line AoE, so we're just going to choose to pretend that doesn't exist. Up next, she gets Frozen Meteor on upgrade 9 or 8, but yeah, Cone AoE, one of the first that we've seen in the game. Multi-hit, decent damage, decent SPA. Let's upgrade her. Not yet. Now we're going to upgrade her. Ice Field. This is where she starts getting crazy. Look at that range. Look at that damage. She's doing like a 30 or 20 multi-hit AoE ability, which is why you see me proccing crit so often. And she is applying her little stun effect on the first hit. Like, as soon as an enemy walks into that radius, they're going to be in there for a while. And her SPA, even though it's a little bit long, I think it works well with her, because by the next time that she's attacking, she's already going to be off the freeze cooldown, being able to freeze enemies again. So overall, I think she's pretty solid for infinite mode runs. We're going to be giving her a very, very solid 7 out of 10. And let's move on to the next one. Now we're going to be seeing how she does in raids. And I had to bring a little bit of support for the early game. I had to bring a Sung Jin Woo because she just wasn't quite good enough to carry us through early game. But as you can see, 20.7k damage on max, 8.6 second SPA with 31 range. She is an incredible support unit for this game mode, as well as being able to dish out some decent damage for her support as well. Overall, even though she's a little expensive to get up and running, I think she's solid for raids. So I'm going to be locking her in at another 7 out of 10 for raids. But let's move on to our concluding thoughts. So after tallying up all of the scores, she is going to be getting a very, very nice 7 out of 10 overall rating for her unit review. And do I think that she's worth summoning for or not? Well, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think she is absolutely worth summoning for. A unit that's meta support and hybrid in the standard banner was something that we didn't have beforehand, and now we do, right? Katakuri was our only meta hybrid slow support, but as time goes on and he becomes more and more expensive due to him being a limited unit, it's just harder for free-to-play players to get him. So having a unit in the standard permanent banner that anyone can get that can do Katakuri's job just as good, if not better, I personally think is a really, really nice addition for free-to-play players or players that just don't want to be spending a lot of money on old units. She is very, very good. Definitely worth summoning for. She is worth the gems. Trust me, guys. And with all that being said, that's going to be bringing us into the end of today's unit review. If you guys enjoyed the video or learned anything new, feel free to like, sub, comment, all that wonderful, wonderful stuff. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and we will catch you in the next one. Peace.